I should be in Chaos Zero Nightmare right now, but instead I'm stuck here in the Stygian Onslaught because it got reset today. This sucks. Anyways, I'm going to talk about all the 3 fights that we have to go over on the Fearless difficulty. And I'll show you the teams I used, and then I'll show the fights themselves, give you some tips and tricks and stuff to help you if you're struggling. Just be warned, I don't have free-to-play strats. If you're here looking for, oh, did you do it 4-star characters and 4-star weapon? Nope. 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 This is not the channel for that, and I'm sorry. I'm not that good. I never was. But let's go ahead and talk about each fight individually first. So Battlefield 1, is you're going to fight the new Frost Knight Hera. This is a brand new boss that just got introduced in this update, Luna 2. And if you haven't fought it yet, I'll just go over it real fast. It's gonna have like a shield, like thingy bar fill up right under its health. I'll point it out in the fight. But whatever damage, elemental damage, it takes the most of, it will gain like complete immunity resistance to it, but it will also be infused by that element. So, for example, let's say I use a bunch of Hydro characters to fill up this, the phase, and once the bar fills up, it will be Hydro infused, meaning my Hydro attacks it'll be immune to them. However, if I have a Pyro DPS, for example, they will always vaporize off of the boss's, every time they hit the boss, basically. So you want to try to plan your reactions and your teams based around, something that you really think will help you with the single target. Like, Vaporize is always good. Melt is always good. Of course, if you've pulled for the Nod Krai characters, this is where you would put your Nefer. Or any Bloom team, if you have Nilo Bloom team here with Lauma as well. Put them over here. You're going to have good results because the Luna reaction stuff basically ignores all of this stuff. Seriously, it won't gain any elemental damage immunity or effects. It just won't. You just get to do free damage the whole time because they're really trying to sell these Lunar reactions to you even more so. For Battlefield 2, you're going to have to refight this dude again. If you've been exploring Nod Krai, he's one of the bounty fights you have to do. He's like a normal guy at first, and then you take down his HP bar once. And then, all of a sudden he's like a big, wild hunt zombie dude. It's that guy. So, if you haven't fought him yet, I'll talk about more about it during the fight. But again, this is another, if you have Nod Krai characters, put them here, and you're going to have an easy time. Specifically, if you have your Flynn's, if you have your Enefa, your Electro Charge team, whatever, you're going to have an easy time. Easy time. I don't have any Nod Krai characters, so all of my teams are all going to be before the Luna updates. So FYI. And last but certainly not least is the Veteran Frost Operative, the Blood-Soaked Blade. We fought this thing before in Fontaine. Bond of Life characters here are definitely going to be very helpful, but if you can also just brute force this fight, of course. If you are fighting this on Fearless and above difficulty, you cannot do the Gene strat, where if you're doing any of the first 4 difficulties, that's normal, advancing, hard, or menacing, you can just use Gene. She doesn't even have to be built. Use her skill, and you can literally lift up this boss and yeet it up into the air, and it will take fall damage. And that's where the majority of your damage will come from. It's not actually Jean herself technically doing the damage, so you don't even have to build her properly if you want to use her for that. But that's only for the easier difficulties. If you're trying to do Fearless, you can see here it gets more resistance to interruption and stuff like that, so you can't just yeet it around, unfortunately. You are gonna have to bring a team here. It also will use it'll summon a shield that you have to take down. But the good news is if you take down the shield, it'll take out a chunk of the boss's HP, which is really nice. And that's basically a quick overview of each fight. None of them were fun for me because I don't have Nod Krai characters. Here are the teams that I used. Feel free to copy them if you want. So for the first, I'll talk about them briefly here. But for the first team, I did mostly the Natlan, premium Malvika team here, except instead of Bennett or Iansen, I put Ayaka, and I'll show you why once we get into the fight. But basically, Ayaka does a lot of cryo damage quickly so that we can get the boss into the phase where we can damage it. And we also do a little bit of an interesting tech with Malvika to maximize her damage in this fight. For the second fight, I just brute forced it. Again, I don't have Nod Krai characters, so that's literally my only choice. And we brute force it with Skirk. This is just your, your premium Skirk team with Escoffier, Farina, and Shenhe. All of these characters are at C0, by the way. So this is a little bit more manageable. And I don't have Skirk's signature weapon. I don't have Escoffier's signature weapon. And I don't have Shenhe's signature weapon. And I do have Farina's, but I'm not using it. I'm using a Favonius sword on Farina. But I will also show the builds at the end of the video as well. And last but not least, because we need Bond of Life, who better to use than Arlecchino? And we basically just did a very simple Arlecchino Vaporize build, or a team, with Zhongli for shields, just so that we don't have... I'm bad at dodging, I'm not gonna lie to you, I suck at it. If you don't need the shield to dodge, then feel free to bring another damage dealer like Zhongling or Sucrose or Kaza or whatever, just to make this fight a little bit easier for you if you're comfortable with dodging. If you're not, shield it up, get your Zhongli out, get your Layla out, whoever, to provide you a nice shield. So this fight is a lot easier for you. Benny here for obvious reasons, and then Yelan here for obvious reasons. My Yelan is at C1 if you're unfamiliar. But that's all my teams. Let's go ahead and get started with the fights. We'll do the we'll just go in order. So in order to not like mess myself up, I am gonna talk about how we're gonna approach these fights and how we do them, and then I'm just gonna go dead silent during the thing because I have to lock in basically. So why are we using Ayaka? As I mentioned before, Ayaka's burst and her charge attacks do a lot of hits very fast, and that's going to lessen the time that this boss is going to be in its gloom veiled state. That's when it's absorbing elemental damage to become immune to one of them. And we want it to become immune to cryo. That is the goal here, because once it's immune to cryo, it will be cryo infused, meaning our Malvika here can always melt off the boss just by hitting it. I don't have to do any set up Silali's burst or anything like that. You just do Shillanin's debuff, and then you do Malvika's burst thing. And the other thing I am doing in this one is Malvika's combo. I am terrible at it. I am not the one to ask on how to do this properly, because you'll see in the upcoming fight I suck. So I will just give you a link to a video by Seven, please, who explains exactly how to do the Malvika optimal, the new optimal combo. That's it's a little hard to do, but once you can do it, your Malvika's damage is going to skyrocket. Seriously, that's not even an exaggeration. But here's the team. That's the strat. Let's go ahead and finally begin. Alright, we want to get Ayaka's burst as fast as we can here. Do some charge attacks so we can get that Gloom Veil phased over and done with. Gonna be a little close because we're doing some tech, but yeah, I'm sure anyone that knows how to actually properly do Malvika's combo there, you're probably cringing at my performance because yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't know how to. I can't even do it properly, and I barely just found out about it today, so yeah. I'm not the best at it. I will have a link in the description if you want to learn from Seven on how to properly do it, or if you want to look at the comments down below, I'll have a link there as well. Right, so before we begin Battlefield 2, I'm just gonna tell you my strat again, just like before. So basically, right when this boss is about to lose his first HP bar, we want to save Skirk's Burst. That's the one where you hold her skill, right? Just like before in the Fatui shield, if you guys remember the last Stygian Onslaught. We want to have basically a huge burst of damage ready to go as soon as his HP gets depleted. So that way we can remove a lot of his gray HP bar. And we want to try to get half of it gone by the time we get him down the first time. So basically for the first part, when we're just fighting him normally, just fight him normally. Just get his HP down as fast as possible. Then just save up all of your buffs, all of your bursts and stuff right for the end. And then you just want to unleash everything once his HP is hit zeros for the first time. And then you just rinse and repeat. Auto aim, please. This is gonna be close. Woo! Remember that when you get rid of the health bar, he does get like a huge chunk of his second HP bar basically removed. So don't give up, even if it looks pretty bad like it did there. My goodness, let's move on to the last one, shall we? Alright, so last but certainly not least, like I said before, is the veteran Frost operative. So this one, she's very annoying. Like, she moves a lot, she attacks a lot, she doesn't get easily stunned anymore. So we can't rely on characters like, you know, Kazuha or Sucrose to just toss her around, or Jean, for example. And then she also has one more move that you really need to be on the lookout for. It's called this one right here. She'll consume her own HP to do this, and she's going to use her hunt down combo. You'll know it when you see it, but basically if it hits you, she gets that HP that she used back. So you want her to consume that HP, dodge all 3 hits, so that she's basically killing herself for you, and it's going to help out a little bit. Like, every bit helps for the damage here, and we need to break those shields as fast as possible. If you suck at dodging like I do, it's not a, you know, don't be ashamed to bring your Zhongli. That's what I did. He's also my energy battery for the team, so he also has a Favonius Lance. But let's get this over with. Let's go home. There we go, nice damage. Sheesh, had to destroy the shield 3 times. Alright, excuse me. So that's gonna be it for the Stygian Onslaught. All 3 fights on Fearless difficulty. Let me just show you my builds and let's get out of here. Luckily, it's already all in order for me, so starting with Battlefield 1 team, here's Malvika. She has signature weapon, she has Obsidian Codex with... I tried my best. I still haven't really changed these though. Here's her character sheet. You can see a little bit of inconsistencies because of the artifact, or the crit rate. C0, 6, 9, and 9. Lolly. There you go. Signature weapon. Scroll of Hero of Cinder City or whatever. Elemental Mastery, C0, 3, 9, and 10. Now, Ayaka, I will tell you, is a different kind of build than how you would normally build her. Look at her energy recharge. 281%. That's why I was able to get her burst so fast. And we built her specifically just to get her burst quickly. That's why she has a Favonius Sword. If you can get this to Refinement 5, even better. Artifacts, energy recharge, and that's why she also has the Emblem of Severed Fate. But yeah, energy recharge and crit rate. That is it. That's all you care about. You do not care about the damage, because you won't be doing any damage with Ayaka. Here's her talents, constellations, C0. And of course, Shillinen. Signature weapon, of course, for her. Lots of defense, lots of energy recharge. Here's the character sheet. C0 and 8, 10, 8. Except for Battlefield 2 with Skirk. Same build as before. Same artifacts as before, just as much offensive stats as you can fit. C0. 8, 10, and 10. Next up is Escoffier. He's using the Primordial Jade Wing Spear, but you can also give her a Favonius Lance as well if you feel like your energy isn't good enough. If you feel like your burst uptime is just not good. She's also using the Tenacity of the Millilith. This is to give a buff to the team. But otherwise, you can also give her the Golden Troop if you're comfortable with your Skirk's damage. C0. 1, 8, and 9. Last but not least is Farina with the Favonius Sword at Refinement 5. Again, this is just because Stygian Onslaught is very stingy with its energy. So, energy recharge and just getting a lot of energy, particle generation in general is very, very good in this mode. C0, by the way, there's the character stuff. Shenhe. Shenhe, who I will be getting at C1 eventually, by the way. She is available on the, whatchamacallit, the free constellations we're getting. I'm just getting Yaimiko first, just because I like Yaimiko. Here's the build for Shenhe, just a lot of attack, as much as possible. 110-10. Soon to be C1, but not anytime soon. Next up is Arlecchino. I do have her signature weapon. She does have the fragment of Harmonic Whimsy, offensive stats. Of course. C0, like I mentioned. Triple Crown. She's one of the few characters I Triple Crown because I really like her. Zhongli. Boy, oh boy, do I not show this guy off enough because I haven't been really using him. Anyways, Favonius Lance for energy. Tenacity of the Millith for buff. And then just HP and energy recharge. Crit rate, of course, for the Favonius Lance. My artifacts are not good on it. C0. 6, 9, and 10. Bennett will be Bennett. I gave him a Favonius sword just to help out a little bit more with energy. It was hard to proc it, though, because of the boss. Favonius stuff doesn't proc as easily on the boss as when the shield's up. But yeah, anyways. Normal stuff here. Energy recharge and then offensive stats. Little bit of healing bonus, C6. 1, 8, and 12. If I didn't show the character sheet, there you go. Same with Zhongli, there you go. That is gonna be it for Stygian Onslaught. And I gotta say, this was hard, obviously, because I don't have Nod Krai characters. If I had Nod Krai characters, Stygian Onslaught would not be as bad. But because I'm saving for a certain character, I don't have the luxury of pulling for every single banner. Like, I would love Lauma, I would love to have Nefer, I would love to have Flynn's, I would love to have Inefa, I just don't have the gems. So, the woes of being free to play. Anyways, if this was helpful for you, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, helps me out a lot. If you have any more questions, you feel like I missed something, or you want to have some of your own advice for your fellow travelers that may or may not be struggling out there, feel free to leave a comment on that as well. And I'll see you all in the next video.